Well, could be worse, kid. At least you're not in a love triangle competing over Yui with Komi Komi the First. I swear, I am not kidding. That is something the head writer wanted to do. Also, that's a boy? Thankfully, we open without the opening narration, and hopefully that old hag will at least be gone for the remainder of the year. But yeah, the Dilf set return, both with souvenirs and plot developments in Wonbei's case, as he finally reintroduced himself to Rosemary. Though, shouldn't you be busy setting up a battle royal between 3 different Rider series? He also revealed that foods outside of Japan were disappearing, and as we later learned, this was the doing of Spiritor working out of the side of the Precure, which, yeah, is an interesting development. I mean, aside from Happiness Charge, we normally see the antagonists only attack at or near the Precure's hometown for the sake of the plot. And while there was justification with this show thanks to Ginger's device concentrating all the fairies into one area, it doesn't mean the bundles can't attack countries well outside of the Precure's reach. It's a bit of an out-of-nowhere development, but compared with a few other things in this episode, it's at least sensible. But of course, he also revealed that he had given his son his Delicious Stone, and Rosemary, being legit one of the smartest characters in the show, put 2 and 2 together. From there, Wonbei asked Takumi to hand the stone off to Rosemary, which they tried to play off as a big loss, like Peter Parker throwing his costume away, but honestly, it makes sense, and considering how little he's contributed to the Precure's fight, I'm not even sure if we've seen Black Pepper throughout this final core, it's hard to call this anything all that dramatic.
It's no big deal, really.
It certainly did help that the person he was trying to do all this for barely remembered that he even existed. Y'all not even trying to hide what you really see Takumi as. Hell, at this point, I say he has better chemistry with Amane, who at least tries to talk to him casually, rather than treating him like her personal Uber Eats. But yeah, while the actual Christmas episode was going to be next week, everyone was of course already getting ready for the holidays. This of course included the time-honored tradition, originally created by KFC in order to drive up their holiday sales, with Christmas cakes. Hey look, there's a giant Christmas cake right up there. Seriously, they had to be doing that on purpose. But yeah, after we got more of her backstory that I guess we're supposed to care about this late into the series, Secretary struck. The fairy partners tried to save the little cake and got a face full of some much bigger cake instead. You know, last week I actually considered doing a dirty joke based off of this little bit of Secretary with her hands covered in some sticky, slimy eggs. But I figured that would be a little too crude for a kid's show like this. Apparently I was completely wrong. Anyway, this proved to be a completely bad idea as they ended up getting captured. Takumi, Rosemary, and later Yui tried to stop her, but she made a monster out of a sifter, which for whatever reason turned into a bat monster. Okay, lady, you get a couple points for that. I mean, at least now we'll be able to see a fight that's not going to be on the same old back. Damn it. But before we got there, we did something a little different with Takumi finally doing an on-screen transformation in front of Yui. Well, okay, maybe like the dude he's clearly ripping off, we'll get one of the best transformation scenes out of the series and...
That's it?
Yeah, they really tried to play this up as a crowning moment of awesome for Takumi with him saving the partners, but these effects, both for his transformation and his super speed, were kind of lame. Anyway, as I said, we got the usual fight set up, though with the little wrinkle that Yui.exe stopped working after seeing some actual plot development in the form of Takumi being Black Pepper. It did make the fight a little more interesting, especially as Secretary implemented a new system where she could moderate her monster's attack and defense. They didn't really explain how she was doing it, like where was she getting the power to make its defense be able to handle all 5 of the superheroes, but whatever, it's something different at least. And it's certainly better than Yui trying something different by using her talk no jutsu minus the granny quotes. Smiling isn't really required to feel happiness. In fact, how do you know that she doesn't feel happy? She certainly looks happy in this stock animation, so yeah, maybe she should just go back to the grand quotes, Yui. Not too surprisingly, it didn't work, and Takumi ended up suffering as a result. Realizing that it was receiving signals through the giant bee on its forehead, Rosemary told them to attack the obvious weak spot. However, as I said, its guard could resist all 5 of them together. So now would they do something clever to defeat it, like forcing it into attack mode, or distract it, or... Power of Nakama. Okay, sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a well-animated sequence, and I love an all-rider kick as much as the next guy, but as I've said, it does feel like things are just kind of happening for the sake of this poorly built-up plot, and the worst of it is yet to come. Anyway, Takumi revealed a secret to the rest of the team. Hey, she said, not me. I mean, I think I get what they're trying to do here with Yui now realizing how much Takumi has done for her, and that we should feel happy that she's finally recognizing Takumi, but that's the thing. It's hard to feel anything when Yui has paid so little attention to him, and as we said in previous videos, has just been generally a bad friend who seldom invites him to anything well outside of their usual Precure activities. So do excuse me if I find scenes like this where they call back to the first episode completely unearned, and I'm more vying for the Takumi/Amane ship, as at least we got some good faces out of the latter. Anyway, Takumi of course said that he wanted to remain as Black Pepper, and he would be able to do that as very conveniently they found an extra stone in... One more for the road. So, you're telling me this thing was not only a convenient memory trigger for the fairy partners, but it also had an extra stone in it this whole time, and yes, Ginger confirmed that he had hidden it in there at least after they met him in the past. And yet, it's taken almost 40 episodes for Rosemary to find it. Hell, there was an episode where his wallet was empty, so you tell me he didn't find it then?
The answer is don't.
No, I'll ask questions because this show needs to be brought to task. Anyway, the episode ended with the boys heading out to fix Rosemary's stone, and I guess the ominous threat of the bundles almost completing their evil recipe bone. But at this point, I'm sure our heroines will just pull something else out of that wallet that'll give them an instant win condition. Okay, so as a spotlight episode for Takumi, this is actually fine. Pretty good even. He got to really help out our heroines and prove that he was an asset to this team, even though he doesn't get that much screen time. However, as we're nearing the end of the series, it really does feel like things are just happening for whatever reason, as our old buddy Deus Ex Machina has arrived. For an episode that should be one of the most impactful of the season, it comes in with more of a thud to me, all because of a lack of proper build-up. Key among them, of course, being the relationship between Takumi and Yui. I mean, give Megumi and Seiji credit, at least there was some genuine chemistry between those two, and she did try to invite him on their adventures whenever she could. And sure, they had the advantage that Seiji early on knew their secrets, but considering this season was more of a slice of life, there were a lot of times when Yui could have invited Takumi on their normal activities, and yet didn't. Thus, all of these scenes between the two just ring absolutely hollow. And sure, Takumi got to show off here that he is a capable ally, but it doesn't really make up for his extended absence from the show. And yet, he's not the only thing that's got to no build, as things are only now being established with only 5 episodes left. Now sure, Spirited side jobs were kind of hinted at, so they kind of get passed, but it's still hard to feel bad for Sector at this point, and that third stone is just eye-rolling for something that they really should have found a lot sooner. What that tells me is that this show's head writer is more focused on their ships than actually having natural plot progression and continuity. And overall, I just feel for my boy Takumi at this point. He's not a bad character, he's just stuck with a disjointed mess. Oh, and the show's plot is also disorganized. Next week, of course, is supposedly supposed to be the happiest time of the year, Christmas. And you better believe I ain't editing on the eve. Oh, don't worry, we'll still try to get a review out on the actual day, but no premiere, as I'm having dinner with the family. Then, hopefully, a lot of you will also be able to spend your holidays with your families or significant others. Still, do look forward to it. Until then, though, farewell for now, my friends, happy holidays, and if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna go watch my favorite Tuxedo Mask episodes. That dude's an actual Chad, at least. My Switch and alarm clock fell.